Welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video I'm bringing to you another weekly episode of the League 2 Roundup. Some big news in League 2 this week, more to do with departures. Some star players at some of the clubs have departed their respective clubs, so we'll go into detail with that. Some incomings coming in as well, some really good additions across the division, so let's get into the video and round up all things League 2. So if we get into the video, we'll start off with Carlisle United. They've had one incoming and one outgoing this week. Start off with the incoming. They announced the signing of Archie Davies from Irish side Dundalk for an undisclosed fee. Don't know too much about the player, but doing some research on him, he's been a really consistent player for the last couple of seasons now for Dundalk, putting in some really impressive performances in the defensive line. Still at 25 years old, so a good age profile for Carlisle. Still, he's got that experience, but he's still got plenty of years left in him to really kick on as a player. The outgoing this week was Jack Armour. He's gone to League 1 side Burton Albion for an undisclosed fee. I think this one could be a loss, but one that can replace still Carlisle. I think he put in some really good shifts at left wing back for Carlisle. Obviously, he was part of the side that got him promoted to League 1. Through the playoffs a couple of seasons ago, so might prove to be a loss this one, but like I said, it is a replaceable one for Carlisle. If we go on to Salford now, it's not looking good for them at the moment. Some really key outgoings at the club. Alex Cairns, their first choice goalkeeper, has joined Championship side Leeds United for an undisclosed fee. He has been at the club, so obviously rejoined the Championship outfit. I think he's a really solid League 2 keeper to have, one with plenty of experience. You know, that experience is key in a side, and losing him in between the sticks could be a big one for them. But there is a rumour that they're going in for Louis Molden, who's been recently released at Wolves. Would have been a decent option for Moorside Walsall with the location on that one. But he's a good up and coming goalkeeper, Louis Molden, 22 years old, and was at Northampton on loan last season. I think he had a spell at Solihull Moors as well in his career, so could be a decent replacement that. But Alex Cairns is a big loss for Salford. They've also lost Callum Hendry. He has gone to MK Dons for an undisclosed fee. I think Callum Hendry is quite a tricky player. I think he's solid on the ball and struggled with a few injuries I think throughout his career, but scoring 9 goals for Salford last season and finished 20th. He's not a bad output really, and in an improved MK Dons side, you know, with the quality around him, he should kick on next season. And his aims really should be looking for 15 goals in that side if he gets regular minutes. Talk about Callum Hendry going to MK Dons. MK Dons have had an outgoing this week, a really big one for them to lose. He's a key player. Max Dean has joined Belgian Pro League side Ghent for an undisclosed fee. I've heard this is in the 7-figure mark as well, so it's a really good fee that MK Dons are receiving, but there's no doubt it's a big loss and a big replacement for him. Obviously, they brought him Callum Hendry, which could prove to be a decent addition, but I think Max Dean, his overall play last season was outstanding. Scored a few goals as well. He's still only 20 years old, so the potential's there for him to really kick on in his career. I think personally for him, that's a really good move for him. He's going to play in a different environment, learn a new way of playing football really, and I think he's a really clever player, really exciting one to watch. And I think MK Dons, even though they're probably getting a good fee in for him, I've heard it's around a 7-figure fee for him, which is a decent fee for MK Dons to receive, but they're going to lose some big goals and a big player in him. Grimsby have announced a couple of additions this week. If we start off with the first one, Jason Dardy and Vans Forsen from Iceland side Breidablik. I think this one, obviously I don't know too much about him, but from the research I've done, some of the clips I've seen of him online, looks an exciting player, and it's obviously a different signing from many EFL sides, you know, going into more of, you know, a different market there, and it could be a really exciting one for them as they continue to do their rebuild. And that's another signing this week. Lewis Cass has joined on a free transfer from Port Vale. I believe he's on loan. He's had a few loan spells in his career as well at Stockport County. A solid defender there, but they also did lose a defender this week, losing Toby Mulcahy. He's gone to League 1 side Crawley. Received a fee for him and one they can reinvest into the squad. I don't think it'd be a massive loss for them really. I think he's a good versatile defender, but like many of the players that depart, they are still replaceable. And I think this one it is they can improve into more, you know, defensive defensive signings. Port Vale probably announced sign of the week this week, making a real statement of intent with this signing, announcing the signing of George Boyers on a free transfer from Sheffield Wednesday. Really, really good signing, this one. He probably could still do a job in the Championship personally. I know he's out on loan last season, second half of the season at Blackpool, but to really, signing of intent from Port Vale, this one. Like I said, he probably could still, with his quality, still playing in the Championship. It's that good of a signing. Dropping down to League 2, he should boss this league, really. And with the already midfield options, they've got, Ethan Chislett on the wing, but, Ben Garrity in there as well. I think that formed to be a really good midfield partnership. Really good on the ball. Like I said, he's probably too good for League 2, and it's a real statement of intent from Port Vale, this signing. Harrogate announced the signing of Zico Asare from National League side Maidenhead United. Really promising signing, this one. I know they haven't made too many signs, but the sign before this, Stephen Duke McKenna, really good bit of business, and this one could prove to be a real gem in the National League. 88 appearances since joining the club in 2022. And if you look at the profile of the signing, 23 years old, so he's going to be really hungry to take his chance in the EFL. Looks like a really, athletic and powerful defender to have in that back line. I think this one, there's no complaints really, and I think it's a promising signing from Harrogate. Wimbledon announced a double edition this week, announcing the signing of Lewis Ward on a free transfer and announcing the return of Joe Pigott on a season-long loan from League One side Leyton Orient. Start off with Lewis Ward. I think that's a solid addition on a free transfer. Provides you as a decent number 2, maybe pushing for a number 1 with this move, but he has been a number 2 at his last couple of clubs, the likes of Swindon and Charlton Athletic. So we'll wait and see on that one. But the big one here, Joe Pigott back on a season-long loan, could prove to be a real good signing for Wimbledon to have in the striking department. Scored some real important goals in his previous spell. I think he spent 3.5 seasons in his previous spell at the club. I think he won Player of the Season in his last season at the club. Was a fan's favourite in his time, and he'll be hoping to give them fans the goals that they want and try and get promoted this season. Another team that did a bit of double business this week was Swindon Town. They announced the signing of Dylan Mitchell on a free transfer from Premier League side Aston Villa, and they announced the signing of experienced defender Grant Hall from Rotherham United on a free transfer. Dylan Mitchell, I think this one is one that they're going to try and develop into a real key player in the next couple of seasons. He had a real outstanding loan spell at Alvechurch last season, and one where Swindon have done the research and recruited in him, and one, like I said, could be a promising one for the future. Grant Hall, really experienced defender now, 32 years old. I think around 10 years ago it was his last spell at Swindon Town, so obviously returns to the club and returns with a job where Swindon need to be pushing up the league this season, and he'll be coming into the defence hopefully to be that experienced head that they need to keep valuable clean sheets if they want to do well this season. Bromley announced a signing this week, announcing the signing of Taylor Foran on a free transfer from Arsenal. At 20 years old now, so he needs to really be kicking on in his professional career now, but I think he's had a couple of decent seasons in Premier League 2 for Arsenal. I think he had a loan spell a couple of seasons ago as well in League 2 with Hartlepool. Did okay there. Obviously that season it didn't end very well for Hartlepool. I think they got relegated, but he's 20 years old. Like I said, he'll be looking to kick on there, and I think Bromley is a good suit for him. Even though Newport County is still without a manager, they've still announced 2 signings this week, announcing the return of Courtney Baker Richardson following rejecting a contract at Crewe Alexandra, and they've announced the signing of Cameron Atwee following his release from Cardiff under 21s. So if we start off with Courtney Baker Richardson, obviously he already knows Newport County, been there for a couple of seasons in his career, formed a really good partnership in his time when Dom Telford was there. He scored 25 goals that season, I believe, before moving on to Crawley. But them two proved to be a really good partnership, and he had a decent spell down there. Didn't get the brilliant outcome in terms of goals that you wanted, but he's a really good player to have in a good partnership, and if you can get that right, it'll be a good signing for Newport. Cameron Atwee, I don't know too much about him, but some of the clips I've seen on Twitter looks like a really good signing. He's got a really good strike on him, So we'll wait and see on that signing. Not to count now, if we start with the big news, there's a massive departure. Top goal scorer for the club and in League Two last season, LANGSTAFF, has departed the club to join Championship side Millwall. It's rumoured to be a six-figure fee. I think some Notts County fans will be a little bit disappointed with that. I think you'd be expecting at least $1 million for a player like that. He's had a really good few seasons with Notts County now, hasn't he? Scored 26 goals last season, I believe, in his first season in the EFL. Scored 40 plus goals, helping Notts County to get promoted. So massive loss for Notts County, I believe. Like I said, I think he'll adapt to the Championship well. I think. I know he's at 27 years old, but he's had the right experiences throughout his career to really kick on and use it as part of his game really to really thrive in the Championship. We've seen it before where some players they have a late rise in the career. I think LANGSTAFF could be this player. He's a really special player to have up there. Really good goal scorer. Really works hard off the ball as well. So Millwall got a really good striker there, and it's a big loss for Notts County. Notts County have announced a signing now. They've announced a signing of Kellen Gordon. The right wing back joins the club following his release from Crawley Town. Obviously helped Crawley get promoted last season at right wing back, and he's a solid right wing back as well. He's really improved his game in the last year or so, looking more of an all-round right wing back, and he'll provide some good competition in that position on the pitch. Now we move on to Morecambe. This one might take a while to go through all the signings. There's been that many this week. They announced 15 signings in one day after their transfer embargo was lifted the other day, and it's big. Obviously they lost a few of the players already, so they need to bring in these signings, and for Morecambe fans they'll feel a little bit more relieved now. So let's go through them. Starting in the goalkeeper department, they announced the signing of Harry Burgoyne on a free transfer on a 1 year with a further option to another year. I believe all these signings, all 15, have got the same contract. Onto the defenders now. They announced the signing of Luke Hendry, Ross Millen, Max Taylor, Jamie Stott, David Tutonda, Adam Lewis and George Ray in the defensive department. Midfield, they announced the signing of Tom White, Paul Lewis and Jan Songo. And in the forward lines, in the striking department, they announced the signing of Jordan Slew, Hallam Hope and Ben Tollett. Like I said, all of them on 1 year deals with an option to a further year. I think the standout signings there are Adam Lewis. I think that's a really solid addition. Really impressed what he did at Newport. Was really impressive there. The good left wing back to have. George Ray, I think, is a really good replacement for Ferenc Rawson in the back line. Wins his aerial duels quite well. Good present to have in defence there. So really good signing there. And all round some decent signings. Obviously they've announced some returns. Jordan Slew was there last season. Jan Songo, I believe, was there last season as well. So 15 signings though is a lot, and they'll be hoping they'll gel all together when the season kicks off in around 4 weeks now. Just to add on to that one as well, they announced a loan signing from Hull City. They announced a signing of Callum Jones on a season-long loan from Hull City, as I just mentioned. Has been at the club before on loan when they were in League One, so he'll be hoping personally for a successful loan spell there. Finally on to Doncaster Rovers. They haven't announced a new incoming, but I think this is as good as a signing really. Owen Bailey has signed a new 3-year deal with an option to a further year as well. Really good intent. This is from Doncaster Rovers. I think he won their Player of the Season award last year. Was really consistent, really versatile player to have in there, and one who will probably kick on next season as well. Really shows some really good signs there after making a step up from the National League. Some really good intent from Doncaster this one. So there you have it. I've rounded up all things in League 2 this week. Some really good bit of business in there. Obviously some big departures as well, as I mentioned at the start of the video. Let me know in the comments who was signing of the week this week. It'd be good to hear in the comments what you think. Thank you guys for watching this video. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.